instead of that side? Okay. Action. So from here, right, we ended here and then we ended here. Now we're going to come in with some details for the thumb work. So I'm going to start on the supraspinatus. And I know there's the spine of the scapula, so I'm going to compress. Nice long thumbs lined up with my radius bones. I want to encourage you to feel like the thumbs are at the end of a body-wide tool. I'm compressing from the floor my whole body, and the thumbs are just part of it. In no way are my thumbs alone in doing this. Okay, then infraspinatus. So I would suggest linger long enough that if there's a trigger point, then the person might have enough chance to tell you about it, which is, 10 seconds maybe. Otherwise, if I'm going too fast, I could just be activating trigger point after trigger point, and then that'll be a problem, right? Which technically is another class, as we know, but
I haven't taken that yet, so would somebody
you
necessarily...
are so in the dark now.
I know. Would someone tell you if that was a trigger point?
No, they would unlikely ever say that. They would say, well, that's interesting. That's referring down my hand to the back of my wrist or something like that. They would say that.
Okay.
I can feel that down my arm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I want to press on it long enough for that to happen if it's going to. Especially here, I'm technically on infraspinatus, but I'm also, if I angle different, like here, I'm on the leading edge of lower trap.
Okay.
Super high traffic area for trigger points that are going to come down to the shoulder and beyond. So I'm just watching for that. Again, it's a different modality, but a lot of you took trigger point with me, and so it would be bad if I left her with that activated trigger point and unknowingly. There's no reason to. So just slow your roll a bit. Plus, as I'm feeling that tension, it doesn't have to be a trigger point. Like, I need to be there long enough for something to happen, right? So we're taking in information, we're giving out information, but I'm also feeling for and listening for, excuse me, my spittle. I want to feel for something actually changing. I want to know, is the tissue actually responding? Is something happening?
Oh, that's tender.
And that takes time sometimes, right? The tissue doesn't respond instantaneously. It's like it's wondering, can I trust you? Will you attune to me? And then one more pass, we'll go here at Terry. Sorry, is that too strong? I'm a brute. My clients like deep work, so
I've been doing a lot of shoulder
Yeah.
weights, and so my shoulders are tender.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm trying to give you your money's worth.
Yeah, okay. Woo.
That means linger here.
Yeah, duh.
So after all that, I would say where we did this pass of elbows, it's hard to feel with the elbow, but if you've softened it up a bit, you can get in here a little bit better. It's a really great way to get some of those attachments of those rotator cuff muscles where they're attaching onto the humerus. Or here, the very bottom of the glenohumeral joint. I'm right at the bottom of the joint. It's often a really important, great, intense spot. It's okay?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to bring her arm, I want her arm neutral. So, yeah.
Was her arm down the whole time?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, it could be like this. That's neutral. But I like it like this because then I know where they're all going to. Whereas here it's a little bit less clear to me. Here's the superior angle. I'm going to stand right here. We can trade places. And so we know levator scapula is going slightly medial by attaching at the spine here. So what I want to do is I want to come in with my elbow on this angle. Look at the angle of my upper arm here. That's the angle of force. And I want to try and dial in just the right place where I'm compressing the scapula as I'm pressing right on the origin. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Let's see, is it maybe more there? And then this can either be just, let me just palpate around to see if my fist is needed or will my thumbs do. Here's my thumbs on upper trapezius. Same thing here. I want to go slow enough to where if I activate something, she's going to say, oh, that's weird. I'm feeling that tension headache in my temple that I get sometimes.
And then what would you do?
Then I
Just
would,
stay.
well, I would say, let me know as soon as that starts to subside, and I'll just hold it till she feels it, and then eventually it starts to wane, and then I can get off of it.
Oh.
You're taking the trigger point class now.
Ooh.
So she did a oof, that tells me something. So I would want to know more, but we're just doing a demo, so. But I'm going slow enough that we're not going to leave her hanging. And then this could be instead of, or a follow-up to will end here. So here I'm actually bracing my elbow on my own torso, on my abdomen. That way my pelvic lunge, I'm lunging this way, is doing all the work.
So that's instead of the elbow?
This would be instead of the thumbs. Or if you do the thumbs, it'll be after. It's the fifth press upper shoulder,
Okay.
What are you using, your fist or your elbow?
my fist.
Okay.
So can you see that? I'm lunging, and the lunge is what's causing that force. And I'm meaning to compress her scapula and elongate that upper trap as I do it.
Do you pull on their arm too sometimes?
I would, yeah. If I do this, and for some reason they're holding enough tension or the body is tense enough where it doesn't move, I'll do this
Okay.
and then try and hold it there.
Oh, that feels good.
Yeah,
That really feels
I have
good.
a question.
yeah.
Does the arm have to be pronated like it is, or can it be an anatomical position? Or is it
I would just experiment.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I don't see a big problem with that,
Yeah.
but I like it like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's